Good afternoon. Thanks for coming back to the Wildings Landing. Thought I'd give everybody a little update. The garden has gotten a few more things planted, and there's a couple of particular plants that are doing especially well that I wanted to share with you. I've decided to let my cinnamon basil go ahead and bloom, at least this one. I'm not so convinced about this one. I did plant some more, but I know the pollinators love it. And down here, I have blooms on a pepper plant that I have been nurturing and cutting the cinnamon basil back off of. This one is also doing really well. And then there's one down there. They seem to have found their happy time because they're finally coming up, which is one reason I'm going to let the basil go so that they have some room. The dill's doing fantastic. We've gotten some more of that planted. That's lemon balm over beyond it. I've got some more of that planted. Rosemary, I need to divide and conquer. No, divide and propagate. Coneflowers are starting to cool off a little bit. So they're starting to wake up. The asparagus. Last week, I didn't do a garden update last week, but I planted a lot of ginger. Went to the grocery store, found some, and I did this in my nursery at my house for years. Unfortunately, I either sold it all or made the mistake of putting it in the ground, and my rhizomes got real thin. So I won't be doing that. It'll stay potted. These are our asparagus that are starting to go to flower. The downside of planting asparagus is you have to wait 2 years to eat it. But that's okay, it'll be worth the wait. This was one of my garden surprises this week. The lavender's blooming again. I don't know whether that's because the weather cooled off a little bit or... it never completely died, but it did look rough. So, it was kind of cool. And the loofahs are still doing great. Didn't harvest any this week. Aren't any really ready. This little guy's popping on. It's doing really good. Got one down here actually 2 down there. We've planted some onions from seed. We'll see how those go over the winter. Can you believe that was more onion? Yeah, and couldn't decide what I was going to put back here. Finally made a decision. Sometimes that's the hardest part of gardening, huh? There's some more of our red Creole onions planted. And we're coming up on one of the plants that I really wanted to share with you. Jelly melon, our horned African horned melon. It's doing really well. There's a baby just on the other side of the fence right there. Another one gonna come there. Kind of pruned it back. It's being attacked by something. And look at there. There's a bigger one with a baby next to it. This one I'm going to pull and cut because it looks like it, I don't know, did it get a worm? Did it not get a worm? I don't know. This is the oldest, ripest one closest to ripening. I don't know exactly what they look like when they're ripe. Robbie Morris, if you want to chime in here, he grows them on a farm in Arizona. These are not from him, but it was kind of cool. He was here last week. And we'll just keep going down the vine. There's another one there. And he was really surprised to see them in my Florida garden. He's like, oh my gosh, we're growing these on the farm that I'm going to work at. So it was kind of cool. And then he sent me a picture of one that he harvested after he went back. But as you can see, as I kind of just go up and down the vine, Can see lots of them coming. We'll call this a success. I almost pulled this vine up. That's what I find so funny is I got so frustrated with no production. No flowers, no nothing. But, and then there's one. I'm glad I stuck it out. I am. And if you remember the video about the baby in our family that passed away, this was his garden. And I haven't gotten a single sprout. Not a single lick. So today, this morning I replanted the fennel. And I'll go through and replant all of it. We've got some late season corn coming up. This is a hybrid variety. I don't remember the name of it right now. Just a pack I found at Home Depot, to be honest with you. And it's honestly doing better than an heirloom variety that I tried earlier in the year. Could be my planting. I'm going to go back and replant the heirloom deeper and do better with it next year, and we'll see what works for us. Planted some German chamomile right over there, so it'll be hanging in the corner of the garden. We have colored sprouts. See that? These are our collards. And I didn't do Three Sisters planting because there's no squash in here. But there is green beans and corn. Both are doing pretty well. Both seem to be doing pretty well. But the green beans are down here with the heirloom